So I was on YouTube and I realized that Kesha has a very similar experience to me.
This presumably really did happen to you?
Yeah, it really did. I know it's hard to understand if you haven't experienced it firsthand, but
yeah.
It's a real thing.
And what exactly happened?
I lived in a house, and there was an energy there that is very sexual, dark, mysterious, magnetic. And one night he just made a move.
Right.
And then I was living in this place for a couple months, and it was really bizarre and hot. But then I decided, I was like, I need to probably move out. In the day that I was moving out, I found a snake under my pillow.
Like a leaving present for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this was definitely a guy ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just tell?
I can just tell.
Okay. Do you think some people are more kind of prone to things like that happening to them than others?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm prone to that because
Yeah.
I'm very open to the supernatural. I've experienced multiple ghosts in my life, or supernatural energies, whatever you want to call them.
Okay. And do you think, at the risk of sounding a bit grand, do you think there's a reason this stuff happens to you?
They just love to fuck with me, mainly.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
Well, I have a story too. A couple years ago, when I was recording Army Eater, actually.
I'm gonna eat your face today, heart today, soul today. I'm gonna eat your love today, laugh today, right away.
I was working on the song, editing it in the darkness. To my right is the other part of my room, and I was just staring at the computer, and I noticed something to my right. So I looked over, and I saw something that looked like Where the Wild Things Are, that book, but a skinny, like 7 foot tall looking motherfucker, and he was covered in fur, and his eyes were very, very yellow, and he had those little horns, and he was just staring at me, sitting like, I'll show you. So I thought that was a little crazy. I saw this thing, but I got up, and I went, and I got up, and as soon as I got up, I looked down, and then I looked back at it, and it was gone. So that was a little creepy. And then, like a couple days later, I was in the mirror, just fucking around with myself, and I always make faces at myself sometimes, and I just went, but when I did that, my eyes got dark, and my tongue actually went, that was creepy. That happened. Yeah. So I started getting freaked out, and I thought it was because the music, really. Army Eater, it was the song. It's very dark, and it was dealing with, it even says things backwards, demonic, and it's very evil, dark. And I thought that was the embodiment of that song coming to life. Something fucking with me, or knowing that I was singing those things, or I don't know what it was, but something was attracted to that.
Nobody does it right. Hey, RZA, Gitterman. Hey, RZA, Gitterman. Hey, RZA, Gitterman. Nobody's quite like you. Nobody's quite like me. Him, hello, Gitterman. Hui, hello, Gitterman. Him, hello, Gitterman. Hui, hello, Gitterman. Am I serious? Yeah, we know we got a lot. Hurry, no, we're back. Oh, grass on. Hurry, no, we're back. Oh, grass on. Hurry, no, we're back. Horse, no, grass. Hurry, no, we're back. Hey, no, we find them. No, we're back. Fast a second. Here is a Gitterman. Here is a Gitterman.
So I said, please leave me alone. Just go away. I don't want anything to do with you. Go away. Well, the very next morning, there were snakes in the garage, getting into the house, things like that. There were bugs all over getting in, like giant things from like almost like locust looking things. I don't know how to explain them, like grasshopper looking things. And there were frogs everywhere in my backyard all of a sudden. and it's like they were trying to attack my house and get in. So that was really weird. It's like it was angry at me. And I would be home alone, and upstairs I would hear pounding and footsteps and all kinds of stuff. And the cat would even freak out, and I'd always try to keep her next to me because I've always heard that animals they scare things like that away, or they at least know when it's around. So I kept her with me, Lucy the cat, and I would hear things upstairs, and I would go upstairs with a knife because I'm crazy, and there'd be nothing there. Kind of creepy. I don't know if it's left me alone. To this day, I'm not really sure if it's completely left me alone. Weird things still happen quite often, so